completed our first year at Turiyo Foundation. September 17th, if I remember correctly, was the date where we incorporated. We had just started some work, and if I go back to our original vision, when I first started, it was about building an entrepreneurial culture in rural Bengal. I believe that would be a trigger to change behavior, and that would ultimately result in a sustainable development, sustainable adoption of innovation, the way I put it when I first started the scribbles. So at the end of the year, maybe I'll just quickly look at what are our little successes and failures so far, and keep this as a documentation along the way. If I start with the school, the Vidyasagar Nursery School, where most of our efforts have been focused, I think we have made a good start. We have got the team of teachers and the headmaster who are aligned with this vision, and they have exhibited their energy and their passion to take this up as a project and actually implement it on ground. So when we shifted from the traditional rote method of learning to a play-based education, they actually learned how to use the tools, they learned how to use the learning kits, and they themselves started using it voluntarily inside the class. So several programs were successful. We created the first Makers Camp at the turn of the year in December, where children came in and they spent 2 days with art and creativity, and they made stuff. So when we did the Saraswati Puja, we wanted to do something special with the kids, and we taught them the curse of the plastic waste, and we came up with an idea of turning the plastic waste into art and decorating the pandals. The kids loved it, and I think they took away a lot of learnings rather than just come in and pray to God for better marks. You will see the kids actually doing the painting themselves, decorating the stage, decorating the school with their own hands, which followed right from the maker movement stuff. I think we were able to put in the processes of running a school well. So the teachers, how do we evaluate them? How do they self-evaluate? How do we benchmark them against their peers? We brought in a lot of that, along the way. And the teachers loved it because they were now getting direct feedback on how they're doing. We are observing them. We are now planning to even take videos of how they're teaching in class and do some self-critiquing. Now, we have many tools in our hand. We have got the school diary, which is the most efficient analog format of a bidirectional communication. The teachers put in their stuff inside the diary, and the parents read it, and they have to sign. Presence in the parent-teachers meeting has gone up. Now we have a full house. And earlier it was a pain to get the parents to come. Parents being the most important stakeholders, they must come into the school and they must interact with the teachers. We have created suggestion books. So a lot of stuff has gone on, which is not just about imparting education to the kids, right? In terms of bringing the parents closer. We are now doing a health camp, where we are building nutrition awareness, because this is early childhood. We are constantly telling the parents that what these kids eat along the way, from grade 3 to 5, 6, 7, from ages 3 to 4, 5, 6, 7, actually is directly impacting the development of the brain. That program is currently on, where we are seeing the rapid adoption of plastic packaged snacks, right, which they're getting addicted to, and cola drinks, and we are trying to wean them off it. And we are finding a lot of challenge with parents who are saying we don't have time to cook. So currently on is a nutrition awareness program where we are giving them recipes and content, so that they can make healthy food with affordable, locally available, ingredients, which will take very little time. The first, signs of belief amongst the parents are coming. They, when I interact with them, they come and tell us that we think, we are not the specialists, but somehow we get a sense that things are moving in the right direction. And I think that's a big gift for us at this stage. At least there are no impediments. The teachers are self-motivated, they have picked up this stuff and they want to do more. So the school is going great, and supporting that and adjacent to that is our alternative learning program, which is the FALA program, and I must talk about. Where in FALA we do kind of these big summer interventions followed by periodic weekly or monthly keep in touch kind of stuff. The first year was great, which we had reported on, and this year we were able to do something very different. This year we focused on art, and we knew that that was a big battle, right? Because parents would say, what's the benefit of art? I mean, engineering was cool. If we told them computer studies, that would be cool. But when we said we are going to do art and creativity, we are going to have the kids make a movie, they were extremely skeptical. There were a few dropouts. We used a referral system this time where kids were asked to, nominate one or two of their friends and then bring them over into an interview, because FALA is a very close group of students that we work with. The big success this year is that we were able to transform one of the rooms that we are using. We were able to expand it and set up a creative space. This is a permanent creative space that we have gifted to the kids. It's packed with resources. The kids are coming in on their own every weekend. They respect this space. They treat it as their own space. And they have a logbook. They come in and enter their time, and they leave on a particular specific time. And there is absolutely no adult supervision. The 4 monitors are who supervise them, so they are in grade 7 going into 8, in 23. So they have started building their and showing off the leadership skills, and they kind of shepherd these younger ones through to the journey. They have to come into this room with a purpose. They write down what is it that they are for, and then at the end of the day they write down what is it that they did. And I think this is an experiment in progress, and we are seeing the first signs of something completely unbelievable. But certainly the school, the Vidyasagar Nursery School, combined with the Future Art and Learning Alternatives, is our big foray into education. And what's really making this happen is not the resources themselves. I think if you come back to our original belief, we have got this few set of people. We have got the Audimesh Das, that master, we have got all our teachers, we have got all more volunteer staff at FALA. These people are the ones who have become our change ambassadors. And they are helping, drive this program forward. And I believe this is how it's being sustainable. So with every success, there is always a failure. And sometimes there are more failures, in my experience. And every failure is a huge opportunity to learn. So our digital health clinic program kind of bombed, right? Our partners who supported us a lot have tasted success in various parts of West Bengal, and I would firmly put it that the failure is not meant to be a general reflection on the state of digital health, but in our village, in a very hyper-local setting, this initiative did not work, and there are multiple reasons for it. But what I learned is that there is a battle between primary health and specialized care. There's a huge amount of doctors who are flooding into rural markets now because they're sensing economic opportunities with rise in disposable income. So the people are in a dilemma whether they need to go to this so-called quack or a general physician, or they will go to a specialized care. At Udoy, we were delivering affordable primary care. And I think that was one of the things that people were constantly asking, who are the kind of specialists who are there? And then the second thing was, of course, the lack of physical doctors. Digital delivery of healthcare was not making sense to most people because now there are so many doctors flooding the area, right? So the people who can't afford care are not going for care, right? And the people who can afford care, they don't want to go in for something which is just 50 rupees and just 1 or 2 pills. They'd rather go to a doctor who is charging them more and prescribing a whole host of stuff, right? And ordering like 3 or 4 different tests. So I think it's a classic consumer aspiration story in rural markets that something which is cheap is not good in their eyes, and that's happening in healthcare, which is a very interesting study. We were struggling with the lack of available talent like doctors who don't want to go to rural areas for delivering healthcare, the same goes for paramedic staff. So it was very difficult to find staff who were eager and who would take on an entrepreneurial approach to this whole project and lift this off. So one of the major reasons why I had to shut down was the lack of available talent to run it, not the lack of funds. And in spite of our repeated efforts, we made posters, we went out, in Totos, doing a mic campaign. We created videos and we did door-to-door campaigns. The young college grads would go door-to-door talking about this. We had early believers, but not enough. And moment we would back up on the marketing, we were not finding the sustenance. Sometimes an entire week would pass without a single patient. And with all the operating paraphernalia, it was a combined call with me and my team saying that maybe the time is not right, or maybe this locality is not right. We have archived, whatever we learned. We have a lot of data, and that's it. And we decided that we will take a pause on health and focus our attention elsewhere. And to talk about the last thing, which has kind of, I would not say it's a success, but it is, it is showing good signs, is this whole community of women who come in and produce artisanal foods. So first we started with Gohana Bodi, then we have moved on to pickles. So there's an entire range of stuff which got produced. And there we were lucky because we found women very responsible to take on this challenge of making stuff, then packaging it, then taking care of it, labeling it, and sending it off to the city, for a sale. They're very interested to know how things are going. I have not, I would not venture so far as to say that, there's a commercial success. Quality assurance is a big issue. We are struggling with that. How do we make products of the same quality? We are struggling with logistics. These are all handmade food products. How do you protect them? How do you store them? So there's a lot of learning which is in the pipeline, but we have now invested in a space for the community, right? Earlier it was happening in makeshift quarters. Now we have built up land and we have built an infrastructure supported by our partner, Annapurna Swadhisht Limited, who have come in and they have given us funding support to build out this infrastructure. So we've built storage rooms, we've built a work shed that I am hoping that you will be able to see, and we have got this small cohort of women who are asking what next. So we need to craft out a business plan for the future. Food business cannot be seasonal, as many of you know. So what are the kind of SKUs we need to add on to this basket? How do we work with our partners so that this product actually reaches the end consumer? How do we match urban tastes? Things which are very tasty to the people here are not necessarily tasty to the urban consumer, who would be the primary target audience for picking up such products. So this and many more such challenges must lie ahead, but that project has taken off the ground and is sustaining. We are now looking at going deep inside the area that we are currently catering, and there is no rush to scale. I know that for many people who are working in the social sector, it's all about impact, it's all about scale. We have chosen to lie low and go deep, right? And learn from our experiences here before we even make an attempt at raising funds and scaling, right? So the fund requirement is extremely low right now, but what's needed is a lot of time. And I think that's what me and my team, we are busy with right now. We are investing a lot of our time and thinking, ability to work with the people here on a daily basis, solving problems, giving them ideas, and taking things forward. We have gotten interests from an educationist in UK who has said that we are doing good work. We have got interest from Art 180 Gallery in Richmond. where my daughter Rohini is currently pursuing her master's. They have been extremely interested in the FALA model, and they want to replicate it with children in Richmond, Virginia. So when such things happen, we just connect the dots and we tell ourselves that maybe we are doing something right. And so we just need to continue to keep our heads down and keep pushing and see where the road takes us.